Hello friends, this is Baljinder Singh Rathore, Immigration Lawyer UK. Today we are going to discuss about different options for immigration in UK, Canada, United States and in Europe, Cyprus. So we will be talking about business investments, express entry, work permits, students, and whatever best options we can give to the immigrants worldwide to come to these countries. I'm having Dr. Dheer with me. Doctors are welcome to our London office. Dr. Dheer, just to start with, if you can just tell a brief about your experience in immigration, then we'll take it country by country.
Okay. Hi. Good evening, Baljinder ji. It's so nice of you to give me a chance to visit your office and your operations. I've seen in London you've been doing a very great job here, and I have come across many people who have told me that you have helped them in the last couple of years settling down in UK. It's really nice experience meeting you and your team here. And yes, I am into immigration consultancy for more than a decade now, and I started from Canada and UK. And there were good time, I should say, at one point of time when there were a lot of infiltration of students coming from Asian countries to UK and Canada. But over a period of time, the system has changed. The people are now more interested to settle. Instead of going in for student visa, they are more interested to go through the investments, which is really good. It's a win-win situation for the investors as well as for the companies who are involved with them, who help them invest in the existing business or take over new business.
Let us start from EB5, US.
Okay.
You have been dealing in investments in United States in different projects.
Correct.
We'll take briefly every category.
Right.
So how the investors worldwide can be the part of EB5?
To start with, EB5 is a category which helps the people to come in US through green card, because we have to understand US is the only country today which has only one option through investment, that is EB5, and EB5 is approved by the USCIS for almost more than 20 years now, and the minimum investment involved is $500,000. The projects which are approved under USCIS, such as commercial complexes, hotels, five-star properties, or residential projects even, but there are around 1000 USCIS projects as of now which invite applications from foreign investors. $500,000 is the investment. Apart from that, there are charges for filing the representation by the lawyers in US, and then there are administrative costs. But yes, when a client invests $500,000, he is eligible to get green card in 2 years after the investment. And against the projects, whatever the projects that money is invested, there are two types of projects in US as of now under USCIS, which either allow the client to take a dividend or the interest per annum. But this is payable after 2 years of investment. Once the client gets green card, then he is eligible to claim interest or dividend as and when the project is approved.
So initial requirement is $500,000.
$500,000
US dollars. And what is the time if I identify any immigrant who is having this money with them, and what exactly the documents they require, and what is the time process for this?
Right, it's a very good question, because eligibility criteria is very important for any country when we are doing for immigration purposes. So in US, it's very easy. The client who is wanting to go under EB5 program, his net worth should be minimum $1.2 million, number one. His age preferably should be not more than 60 years, number two. Number three, the dependents included in his file will be his spouse, better half, and the children up to the age of 18. Any children above the age of 18 are not the part of the application. So that's very important. Otherwise, one important thing we have to understand, any client who is wanting to go under this category, he should have the source of funds very clean and clear, because it should not be there that the money he has borrowed by somebody, or he's just got a cash which he's depositing in the account to show $500,000, which is not acceptable. So the source of fund is very important. That is why United States government, USCIS I should say, takes almost 15 to 18 months after the investment, because they do the due diligence. So due diligence involves the verification of the source of funds, which is submitted along with the file by the client. So that's very important.
So now the day we identify a client,
Yes.
He get all the documents in place, then getting the visa, how much is it? It's more than
15 to 18 months.
15 to 18,
15 to
months.
18 months.
So he gets the green card directly.
Green card. He gets the conditional green card, which allows him to fly with his family in US. Within 3 months, the green card is given, the status is changed from conditional to the permanent green card. The permanent green card validity is for 10 years.
Investment is done at the initial stage or after getting the
At the
visa?
initial stage.
The investment is done at the initial stage.
And then the whole process takes around 15 to 18 months.
So in between, do they visit the country to see the project?
They are always welcome to. I have so many clients visiting through me. We take them to the projects. We make the arrangement of 2 or 3 days stay there, and we show them the project in which the investment is done.
So before they actually invest, they visit the project, and then they.
It is the option. It is not mandatory. The visit is not mandatory, but yes, we will help them to get the visa to visit US once they show us the EOI, that is called expression of interest, along with the retaining amount. Because if they are not showing the interest and if they have not retained with us, we have to have a contract with the company in which the project money is to be deposited.
Another question: any qualification or English requirements in this?
As of now, till date, there is no qualification requirements. There is no English requirement for an investor under EB5.
That's good.
But yes, we have to keep in mind, last year, March, Trump government has already tabled this bill, and in the Congress, the bill is already pending for approval, wherein this amount of $500,000 investment is maybe going to double, number one. Number two, they are also wanting to bring this EB5 category under the point-based system. So once this bill is approved, the whole scenario will change.
So yes, this is a very good point by Dr. Dhi, that if you are looking to go for EB5 category with $500,000 investment, this is the right time before any further changes or eligibility criteria changes. So moving from United States towards Canada. Canada is a quite hot destination, and there are possibilities of going as an investor in business, and express entry as a student, as work permits. So starting from express entry in brief, how can we help our immigrants?
Okay, so express entry is a point-based category wherein the 5 factors are involved: age, education, English ability, funds, and the work profile, right? So if somebody is scoring the minimum eligible required score in that, then he's eligible to apply under express entry. Otherwise, there is another one more option added to this category, which is called a provisional nominee program under express entry. So practically, when any province has the requirement of certain jobs in certain categories, we file in the same application of the candidate who we have applied for express entry under federal government. We apply under various provinces. So if the province allows us and give us the nomination, then he scores 200 points. So he crosses that bar. So by default, then he is invited for PR.
This is very important for, I would say, all the listeners or viewers, that whosoever had filed their files in express entry and are struggling with that bar of the points, yes, we can help in different nominee programs so that your points are enhanced and your files are cleared in express entry. Moving forward to the investment side,
yes, so investment again, it's a investor program which is very old program in Canada, but mostly now the issue is if we go in for an investment program, the Canadian government wants to have good amount of investments in business. Earlier it was like $150,000 or $200,000 investment in a business with a 400,000 in net worth.
Canadian dollars. Yeah.
Net worth, yeah, back home. But now a minimum investment required is 300,000. So obviously the Canadian government wants investors so that people should come and invest and do the business so that the jobs are created for Canadian nationals. But end of the day, it is again a program where one has to perform and continue the same business, whatever he is investing in, and it is reviewed after 3 years so that the continuity of PR is there. He has to maintain those wages for he cannot bring in foreign nationals based on the investment done in his own company. So there are the obligations which he needs to go through, right? Number one. Number two, there is one more program which has come, which is called Business Investor Program. In this, it's very easy for a person who's already a businessman in his home country, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 year old businessman with a net worth of 400,000 Canadian dollars, and he has a liquid cash to show in his accounts, which again has to be a legitimate money in his accounts, minimum $100,000. So in that we invite him based on forming his new company in Canada with a partnership of 51% by a Canadian citizen. So a Canadian citizen indirectly is taking the responsibility to show the federal government that the company will be run smoothly, and if at all somewhere the company fails, he is there to support it. So that is one program which is a good program, which is called Business Investor Program, and it is again through the federal government. But you have to understand, in this the families are who are wanting to come, they again need to give IELTS, and minimum required IELTS score is 6.5 bands by the principal applicant. And again, children up to the age of 22 are a part of the family, part of the application, including the spouse, which is in this program allowed. But all said and done, the funds, the proof of funds, the proof of net worth has to be legitimate. It can be jointly with the spouse, better half, or with the father back home or the brothers, but everything has to be legitimate. That's important.
Yeah, just to remind, there's another special skilled category in Canada in which sportsmen of national or international achievements, musicians, and there are a few other categories who are themselves self-employed and represented their business or their I would say the skills nationally or internationally. For example, if the athletes and the sportsmen who had represented at a national level or international level in Asian Games and Olympics or any regional games, they can also qualify in Canada in the special categories. Now moving towards we are dealing in students as well and work permit. A brief on that.
Yeah. So student is obviously, yes, again one has to give IELTS, and students are very common to come in Canada, but we have to understand these days mostly the students which the Canadian government is are wanting serious students. Why? Because earlier what used to happen was students used to come and then they were looking for settlement through through post-study work and then for PR. But these days it's not easy. Although the students get 3 years or 2 years post-study work after the course, but then the jobs are easily not available because one has to go through the process of completing the whole education process and then going in for completing the jobs. So I always tell people that if you are genuinely wanting to come on a student visa in Canada, try to come on a good course, because a good course will give you a good job, a skilled job in a good company. Because after the completion of your job, if the company is ready to help you and the continuity of job is there, then obviously it is leading to the settlement and PR.
So now we are moving towards Europe. There are countries in Europe where they can settlement can be done. And in one of the countries in which Dr. Dhi specializes, Cyprus investment, and you can get your resident permit very soon. If you can just explain the Cyprus
Okay,
investment.
Cyprus has got two options. One is straight away the passport option and one is through the PR. So the passport option says if any foreign national who wants to invest 2 million euros in the country and the investment will be in the properties. So he will get passport within 6 months straight away. So if somebody is not wanting the passport and wants to come through the PR route, then he has to minimum investment. That is, there are two options practically in PR program. One is fast track program, one is non-fast track program. In fast track program, the candidate again needs to invest 300,000 euros in the properties. So when I say in the properties, the first point is he has to buy one residential property and balance he can buy one or two commercial properties or other residential property, anything. But one residential property is important. Same in the case of the passport case also. One residential property has to be bought by the candidate. So when the client has come on the investment on fast track program, he has to invest 300,000 plus he has to keep a fixed deposit of 30,000 euros in the bank. Although the fixed deposit in his account, but he cannot use that money for next 5 years. Once he gets the passport, after maintaining his PR for 5 years, in the 7th year his FD will be credited to his account. So again in non-fast track program, the money is exactly half and the PR process is done 15 to 18 months. He gets the PR in 15 to 18 months, whereas in fast track program he gets PR in 2 months after the investment. So again in this there is no English requirement, number one. The only requirement is that person should have legitimate money, source of funds has to be very clear from his native place, wherever the money is coming from, whether it is onshore or offshore investment, wherever. So the money should be in his account or whatever. And back home he should at least have a yearly income of 24,000 euros per annum. That's important, because if he is not having that much of income, how would he come, as per the government rules, how would we come to a new country and settle there? So he has to have a source of income there in business.
Now coming back to UK, you came for a visit to see the different options with us, and I had briefed Dr. D about the franchise options and that investor, the entrepreneur visa with 200,000 investment. You should have this money in your account for more than 3 months, and plus your IELTS should be around B1, that is 4 bands upwards. So Dr. D, what was your experience with us in UK as far as this entrepreneur visa is concerned?
Yes. So once again, to where I started from, when I reached this country, and on your invitation I came to see the projects which you are offering based on the hotel industry, investment and hotel industry, investment in the hotel industry, which is genuinely a good project, wherein the client, whosoever is going to invest 200,000, will be comfortable because he is going to start earning from day one, because you are helping from A to Z, setting up his franchise, and you are working with the professional team, which is an American based company. And in fact I was really impressed, and I've seen the guys are very professional. They know what they are saying, and they know about their subject, and they are helping
the investors, the entrepreneurs to grow with them.
Yes. So with you I found a very good comfort level, because you are a part of that project, and it's really good, wherein we would love to bring in more investors, not even from India, from other countries as well, who want to come to UK as a PR or on a citizenship through this program.
Yes, let me tell the investors or entrepreneurs around the world. Yes, if you're looking to invest 200,000 in UK, we got very good business options for you, running franchises for you, and even if you are having your own idea, still we can get it I would say, make it happen in this country. So yes, you all are most welcome. And if your final words, Dr. D, to our immigrants worldwide.
Okay, see, I always tell my investors all over world, because I have been doing investment programs mostly in all these countries, like in Cyprus, in Canada, in US, in UK now, through Mr. Rathore, we are very comfortable. I found a professional setup here. I would always tell my investors, take your time, think twice before you take a decision, because it's not a small decision coming with your hard-earned money back home. You are bringing on all the family to a new country. But yes, where you are getting an offer like opening a new outlet, straight away the outlets are established companies which are going to give you earnings from day one, which are also giving you offer for a job to one of the family members. In fact, I was really thankful to Mr. Rathore that he has been so kind talking to the main company back home for allowing one of the family members, as whosoever is investing, to be part of the staff there.
Business itself.
To be part of the staff who can always be there to work as a staff as well as business partner. So that's really good. And obviously for me, UK is on top. Why? Because of the multicultural people here, and the climate conditions, if I see compared to Canada or US or Cyprus also, but the climate conditions in UK are always favorable for anybody, any person coming from any part of the world, because there is not extreme cold, there is no extreme hot weather here, and the culture, the people are whoever are staying in UK are coming from all types of culture. So there is no language problems, there is no, the English is a common language, so that gives an added advantage.
Absolutely. And I usually say that we are sitting in the middle of the globe. We got 8 hours towards Asia, 8
Yes.
hours towards Canada and States. So and just 2 hours we are to Europe and Africa. So we are just in the middle. All of you are welcome, whether you want to come to UK, United States, Canada or Europe. Dr. Dhi and my team are here to help you out. Please do contact us on the given numbers. Thank you, Dr. Dhi.
Thanks a lot. My pleasure.